friends, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm bringing you along for a productive week in my life as I balance being in my third year of film school and doing content creation. I've always wanted to film one of these to show you what I get up to and give you a glimpse into my content workflow. So without further ado, get cozy and let's get right into it. Film an intro at home, but I'm on my way to Pilates and I have one class this afternoon. Hopefully when I get the chance to sit down I can actually talk to you guys and intro this vlog, but for now we gotta go. Good morning everyone and happy Tuesday. I have another class this afternoon, so my day is going to look pretty similar to yesterday. Since I only have classes on Monday and Tuesdays afternoons, I have been trying to book workout classes in the morning since I'm already heading out of the house. So I have another Pilates class at 10:30, and then usually because my classes only start at 1, I have about like an hour and a half to myself before I actually have to go to class. And so yesterday, as you saw, I went to the library because I had a midterm to review for, and I think it went well for the most part. I'm not really used to having exams or quizzes in film studies classes. Usually it's mostly essays or written assignments or sometimes video essays, but I think my teacher was just like trying to find a way to evaluate us where we wouldn't be able to use AI, which I think is completely valid, but at the same time I was just like, no, I didn't know how to study for that midterm. That is why I went to the library yesterday. Today I actually think I'm gonna book an editing room and do a little bit of editing before I have to go to class. My class this afternoon is my year-long filmmaking class, and it's kind of the core class to my degree, I would say, because in the fall we shot some short films and now in the winter we're doing post-production. I was actually an editor on one of the films that was shot in the fall, and I'm actually all done with that. We've moved on to sound in the post-production, so all of the sound edits, making sure the dialogue is even, Foley, sound effects, all of those things. But I'm gonna book an editing room to edit another project that my friend came to me and asked me to edit. So anyways, that's the reason I'm going to be doing some editing at school. You'll see the editing rooms are like kind of depressing. They're all painted this shade of gray because it's supposed to help the people that do color correction like reset their eyes. Honestly, I'm not the best at anything like light or color related. It was explained to me in one of my classes, but I personally find it very depressing. I would rather edit in a room where there's at least one window, but I get that the dark is better for some people. Anyways, that is kind of an overview of my day. I also don't know if I'm going to be able to film much in class because we're just watching and screening the work and the films that students have been editing, so we will see. I need to get ready. Also, all of my curls, I curled my hair yesterday and they all fell out, which is kind of disappointing. To be fair, I was kind of curling my hair in a rush. I thought I had more time, but turns out I had to kind of speed through it at the end. I am gonna have breakfast. I have to leave soon, so I will pack up all my stuff and get this day started. Hello from the editing room. I have my blue light glasses on, but I'm gonna take them off because the glare is kind of intense. But as you can see, it's very nicely decorated. We do have some posters of random months of the year and some mountains, so I guess that adds a bit of color, but otherwise it's pretty, yeah. But this is where I've honestly spent a lot of time this semester. I think I mentioned this earlier, but I was an editor on one of my class projects, and now I'm editing another friend's project. I'm doing a rough cut right now, which is, dare I say it, like the most boring part, because it's just very tedious. You have to go through every take and really comb through the details and look at the performances and also any continuity mistakes. So for instance, if in one take the character has their head propped up like this, then in another take later they have to either still be in that movement or like it'd be justified that they have changed positions. That's continuity. Very fun. An editor's worst nightmare. I feel like I still look very red from my workout class, but it feels good having my workout done, and especially because now I'm pretty much just gonna be sitting here. In case you're interested, we edit on DaVinci Resolve. It's like the software that our school kind of teaches us how to use, and it's the one that comes with all of the school computers. It's actually free to download, and we have like the pro subscription or version. Today I'm doing like a short session, but normally like earlier in the semester I would come and I would stay in this room for like 7 hours because I don't know, with editing I just like to get it done in chunks. So I'll edit for like a day, then come back to it a few days later, and it'll bring me a fresh perspective somewhat. I'm used to mostly editing like my YouTube videos, and the workflow is obviously very different than editing a film, especially someone else's film. At first, actually, when I started film school, I thought I wanted to be an editor. That was like the path, I guess, that interested me the most. And as you may know if you've been keeping up with my videos, now that I'm in third year, my final year, I'm actually more interested in producing, and I'm doing a producing internship. I still very much like editing. I just think as a career path, I'm not sure if it's necessarily like what I want to do, because it's obviously pretty solitary, and I don't know, I don't want to write it off either. But anyways, I feel like I kind of fulfill my editing needs or my interest in editing through editing my own YouTube videos. I have a few more minutes, like 20 minutes or so left to my booking, so I'm gonna edit a little bit more and try to get some work done, and afterwards I'll just have some lunch and head over to my filmmaking class. Thursday. I didn't film anything yesterday because I had my internship pretty much all day, but today I don't have any classes, so I'm just kind of staying home, and it's pretty much my day to catch up on editing content, for the most part, and then a little bit of schoolwork as well. But really, I want my priority today to be to catch up on editing, because I have the video you're currently watching that I need to edit, and then I also have another vlog. Plus, I might try to also like film some content for Instagram or something like that. We will see, but right now I'm gonna head out because I booked a hot yoga class at 9, which I think will be a nice way to start my day. I also need to wash my hair today, so it's good that I'm getting my workout done first thing in the morning. And then right after that, I also got news yesterday that my computer was ready to be picked up. 2 weeks ago, I spilled some water on my MacBook, and so for the time being, I've just been using my old computer, and I am excited to have my computer back. It should be repaired. So anyways, I'm gonna pick that up later as well, but for now, I'm gonna head out for yoga. Taken a shower and washed my hair. I'm feeling nice and fresh, and for the rest of today I'm pretty much just gonna sit down and catch up on editing. The way my uni schedule works out this semester, I find it's actually easier for me to just take Monday and Tuesdays as school days where I'll just focus on all of my assignments and whatnot. And then lately I've been having my internship on Wednesdays, and then because I don't have classes on Thursdays or Fridays, I kind of use those days just to catch up on any editing or work I have to do. And sometimes I'll like head outside and work from a coffee shop, but for today I am staying home and very much looking forward to it. I'm just happy to have my MacBook again. Because they replaced some of the parts, I think I need to like go through the whole setting up process again, but I'm gonna do that and then get to editing. I also want to eventually plan some content and just take a little bit of time to sit down with my content planner, my notebook, and just get organized, because I have kind of like a structure and a workflow when it comes to planning out videos, but every few weeks I kind of have to sit down and take some time to really see what's coming up, because I also definitely will just like adjust my video ideas and kind of follow my inspiration or like whatever I want to film. So yeah, eventually I will walk you guys through all of that and we can go through it together, but for now, just gonna set this up and do a little bit of computer work. Myself a matcha and I blow dried my hair because I for some reason didn't realize that having to reset up my MacBook would mean I'd have to re-download like all of the essential apps that I use, like Chrome, Spotify, Notion, and Final Cut Pro, which is what I use to edit. So that took a little bit longer than expected, but I ended up filming a little video of me making my matcha. If you've been watching my videos for some time now, then you probably know that I've been talking about wanting to get into short form content for a while, and I feel like lately I'm like kind of making some progress, but it's still very new to me in the sense that it's just a completely different workflow from YouTube. Usually my YouTube videos, for the most part, I try to plan them somewhat in advance and have a rough idea of what it is I'm going to be vlogging, or if it's a sit-down video, then I'll write out an outline of some different talking points. But for short form videos, the turnaround time is just so quick. I'm used to filming a video for an entire week and then spending hours editing, whereas obviously making a video for Instagram realistically could take me like an hour if I really set my mind to it. I'm sure for some people it takes like even less time than that, but for me I have to like find the music and get all of the editing right. So anyways, that is a new avenue I'm exploring. And I think I'm actually going to take some time to edit those videos right now, because I know otherwise they will probably just sit in my camera roll for the next month. Going to airdrop everything. Thank goodness for airdrop, honestly. I'm busting out the mini mics because I'm gonna record a voiceover. And this one just plugs into my phone. And then I'm just gonna connect the two. It's my first time recording a voiceover for a short, so we will see how that goes. You guys are truly getting the behind the scenes. I just use the voice memo app and then record from there. Hi friends, come spend a productive uni day with me. I don't know if I like that. Hi friends, come spend a productive uni day with me. You guys may know if you watch my vlogs on YouTube that I've been wanting to make more short form content, so here we go. I decided to bring you along with me for my day. Watching this footage, it's funny to see just how much I use my hands to talk when recording voiceovers, but I truly feel like it helps the voiceover come across as more genuine and expressive. But usually whenever I record these or sit down to talk to the camera, I'll often repeat myself multiple times until what I say all flows well together. And once I was done recording the voiceover, it was time to get to editing. Would you guys believe me if I told you it's already almost 5 p.m.? Today has been a very editing heavy day, but that is honestly kind of fun sometimes. Also, I don't know if I showed you my full outfit, but we've got the Walmart sweatpants on and a thrifted sweater. But before I completely lose daylight for the day and the sun officially sets, I wanted to walk you guys through my content planning workflow. I don't know if I'm just nosy, but I personally love seeing the behind the scenes of other content creators' lives and like workflow, I guess, because I often feel like when I try to describe to someone my workday, a lot of the tasks that I kind of give myself are somewhat made up. Like I keep a content planner and calendar on my Notion, but to be completely honest, my workflow when it comes to filming vlogs is usually part planned and part intuitive, I guess you could say. I have been posting on YouTube since I think 2019, although maybe longer than that, I honestly don't really know. And a lot of my older videos have since then been privated because, you know, you grow and evolve as a person. I find for me, when it comes to my YouTube channel, at least, I really like seeing it as a way to document my life and kind of as an outlet for my creativity, not just as a platform, although the platform and community aspect of making videos is also so meaningful. But when I go back to the reason why I started this channel, which was just to document my life and have fun making silly little videos, I find that returning to that kind of perspective and mindset often helps me have like a healthier relationship with making content, where it doesn't feel like I'm filling up my day with a bunch of interesting things solely for the purpose of having an interesting vlog for you guys to watch. Although I will say sometimes I always get self-conscious that my content or my day-to-day life is kind of boring, but we'll call it authentic. We'll call it genuine. At the same time, when I look at my favorite comfort creators, a lot of them are super down to earth and have very quote-unquote ordinary lives, and I find that there's something so comforting in relatability. But I'm kind of getting off track here. I sat down initially to talk about my content planning workflow. I have this page on my Notion that is my content planner, and it's pretty much my like go-to hub for everything content related. This is where I usually write down any video ideas, I track any sponsorships or brands I want to work with. I will list any short-term content goals I have for myself on here as well. And the main thing I really refer to is this video tracker database. I have two different views to this database, and one of them being this board view where I can see the phase that the video is in, so whether it's in the planning stage, whether I'm filming it or editing it. And then eventually the most satisfying is when I can move it into posted, and eventually I also archive these videos so I don't just have like a huge list of every single video I've ever posted. And then just below that I also have it in a calendar view, so each of these pages or these cards in my database will also have a date assigned to it, and that is usually my like target upload date. But when I tell you I move things around in here all the time, I truly mean it. You know, things come up, life is not always going according to plan, so oftentimes I will just shift things around in this calendar view, and that's why I like it so much, just because of how intuitive and seamlessly it integrates into my overall planning workflow. But let's say I were to sit down right now and plan a new video. I would click on new page, and then I also made this little template based on whether it's a new YouTube video or a new reel that I'm trying to plan. And then if it's a new video, this kind of template comes up with a bunch of, I guess, like questions or things that I can plan. This is especially helpful when I'm doing a sponsored video or a brand deal, because I can just send this outline directly to the brand and they can approve my talking points. In the outline section, I'll just usually like write down any bullet points of things I want to talk about in the video. So for example, for this video, I knew I wanted to go through my content planning workflow. So even though this is a vlog, I still like somewhat try to structure it. And obviously this changes from one video to another. Sometimes I'll just like go into filming really spontaneously and I don't necessarily have an outline planned. And then last but not least, I'm also a very visual person, so I like to sometimes insert images as kind of reference pictures for the video before I go into filming it. This might seem kind of extra, but lately I've even been making some preliminary thumbnails just to give myself inspiration and kind of allow myself to visually see what pictures I need to take for the thumbnail down the road, because your thumbnail is so important to your video's performance. And there have been many times where I just kind of leave it off to the last minute, and that's also fine, but sometimes I like to put in a little bit more thought and effort. Planning is, I think, one of like the most fun parts of the process for me, because when I'm inspired, I will brainstorm like a million video ideas at once. I've also tried to apply this kind of like planning structure for short form content. I don't know if it's necessarily going to stick. I think short form content is just a lot more spontaneous, and I do think having like a list of video ideas I want to film is super handy. Or for example, if I want to plan like a sit down or a more voiceover driven short form video, then I will like obviously do that in here. But I've come to learn that sometimes for short form, literally all you have to do is take a video from your camera roll and slap some text onto it. So again, I'm still experimenting with my whole planning workflow when it comes to that. I also pair this whole Notion planning system with my Google Calendar, and in there I will input any upload dates. If it's a sponsored video, then I will also add any reminders like a few days prior for when I have to submit the video draft by, so it can be approved by the brand. And also sometimes like I will just grab my journal and I will simply write down my ideas onto paper with a pen. It really doesn't always, you know, have to happen digitally. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this little insight into my video planning process. Obviously, I'm also a student, so I feel like having to balance content with classes and deadlines and assignments has honestly forced me to be like more disciplined, but it has been a lot of fun having kind of a more chill schedule this semester, and I feel like I finally have the energy to put in a little bit more time and be a little bit more intentional about the videos that I make. All that being said, I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into my video planning process. There's like a lot more behind the scenes quote unquote stuff I could talk to you guys about if you ever want to see like a full day in my life as a content creator. For the time being, I am gonna go downstairs to my office and continue editing because I have truly so much more editing to do still. Usually during the day, I will sit down at my dining room table and work there because there's a lot more natural light that comes in. But as soon as the sun sets, I typically retreat back to my office in the basement downstairs. Even though it's cold and kind of dark down there, it is, after all, my office, and I have a standing desk that I really need to use more because sitting down all day cannot possibly be good for my posture or health. Happy Friday, everyone. We've made it to the end of the week, and honestly it's felt like a pretty long week if I do say so myself. I think I said this yesterday, but I don't have any classes on Fridays either, and I'm actually gonna go to a hot bar class, and afterwards I'm supposed to meet up with my friend Krista and we're gonna study a little bit together. I'm probably gonna catch up on editing because that's still my main priority. This morning I tried to film another little morning routine, kind of reel or short. I'm really just trying to get in the habit of filming those videos, so at least I have like a backlog of footage I can edit when it's a busier week and I don't have any time to film. Also made myself some banana bread baked oatmeal for breakfast, which honestly feels more like a dessert, but for some reason, I guess because it's oatmeal, it's considered breakfast, so I will take that win. I have about 45 minutes until I need to leave for my workout class, so I'm just gonna have breakfast and get everything packed and ready, and then I'm probably gonna have a bit of spare time just to do some more editing. I ended up going to bed pretty late last night because I was editing downstairs until like 11, and at some point I was like, okay, do I keep going and finish this video or do I call it a night? And I just decided to go to bed because sleep is important. Anyways, gonna enjoy my breakfast, probably have a little scroll on Pinterest as well, and I am very happy that it's Friday. The rest of my Friday was pretty typical. I went to my workout class, which was a struggle, as always, but I was really proud of myself for attending 4 workout classes this week. And after that, I pretty much just spent the rest of my day catching up on work and editing, but I hope that you enjoyed this video. I feel like there's still so much about my content creating workflow that I could tell you guys about, so feel free to let me know if you want me to make another video like this. As always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I will talk to you very soon in my next video. Bye!